Hi guys, I'm Heather with Petal Pink Flower Farm, and I wanted to show you my new favorite spring crop that we grew this year. And I know that every time I grow anything new, I say it's my new favorite, but this actually is one of my new favorites. This is Sweet Rocket, and it's the pale lavender variety. And this year is the first year that we grew it here on the farm for sales. I grew it last year. I think I grew 3 plants and I loved them, I enjoyed them, and I let them go to seed, gathered that seed, and was able to plant a lot more this year. So this is the first year we've offered it to florists and used it in arrangements. And I am in love. I will grow this forever, and I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, it bloomed when like nothing else is blooming. So this is Mother's Day week, and we're always between crops on Mother's Day week. It feels like the crops in the high tunnel, the ranunculus are finishing, the peonies are just getting started, and we're always looking for something that like blooms in that between crop period, and this has been perfect. So we've had this in bloom for I think 3 weeks now, and actually where I'm standing is looking a little sparse because we just did our very last harvest on it. So here's why I love this flower. Aside from obviously it is like the perfect pale lavender, you can't tell because you're not here. This is so fragrant. It smells really, really good. And it's just, here, I'm gonna cut one. So it's this nice kind of like floaty, airy, but also can act as a spike. The stems are super long. And what's nice about this is the other 2 flowers kind of like this that would be blooming around this time of year are lilac and stock. They're both amazing. I love lilac, I love stock. Lilac has a very short vase life, and it is so finicky for harvesting. It loves to wilt. It's possible to harvest it right, but this stuff you don't have to worry about. Stock, kind of same thing. It's hard to get the timing right. It's hard to get the stems tall enough. This was so easy to grow. It is so easy to harvest. It doesn't wilt. You just cut it, you put it in your bucket, and you're good to go. It has about a 1-week vase life. So for me, I'm gonna focus on Sweet Rocket rather than lilac and stock for the spring moving forward because of how easy it is. So here's the thing about Sweet Rocket. There's a lot of things about it, but here's the thing. This is not a typical annual flower. This is a biennial. So that means it takes a lot longer to grow from seed than something like a zinnia or a sunflower, a lot of the things we're used to growing on an annual timeline. So it is, what day is it? I think it's the 7th. It's May 7th. We've been harvesting these for 2 or 3 weeks, and I started the seeds for next year's crop yesterday. It's going to take that full year for these to be ready to bloom next year. So as with any other biennial crop, the thing you need to get right is the timing. So if I started these seeds too late, then what would happen is these would not bloom next year. Not these, the new plants. The new plants wouldn't bloom next year. They would just kind of sit around as a clump of green foliage and bloom the following year. So it's really important to start your seeds for Sweet Rocket and other biennials like Lunaria, many foxglove. There's even dianthus that are biennials. You really need to be on it and start those at the right time. So for me, I'm in zone 8B here in the Willamette Valley of Oregon. Here on our farm, we start all of our biennials in May. It's about the time that the previous crop is flowering. That's when we're starting the seeds. So it's really simple. These seeds, I start them in 128 cell trays, just regular old soil starting mix, and just make a little divot, put the seeds in, bury it, keep it watered, and they germinate just fine. They grow just fine. The only issue with growing biennials is that you need a space where they can hang out for a full year. So it's kind of hard if you're limited on space to like sacrifice an area for something that's going to be sitting around for a full year before it blooms. But as I discovered this year, totally worth it. Here's the other thing about Sweet Rocket, and this is important, and I will be in trouble if I don't tell you that in some areas this is considered invasive. And I can see why. It produces a ton of seeds. They go everywhere. It's not invasive in my area, but it might be in yours. So look it up before you decide to grow it, because you're actually not allowed to grow it if you live in certain places. So be careful about that. But if you don't live in an area where it's restricted, you should definitely grow it. It's amazing. So I mentioned it's Mother's Day week. We have a ton of orders. I'm very, very grateful that we've had our sweet rocket blooming and we've been harvesting off of it pretty heavily, but I'm going to stop. We're not harvesting anymore. I'm gonna let the rest of these plants go to seed, and then we'll harvest the seed and have seed for next year. I'm gonna grow more than I grew this year. These plants will get ripped out and we'll just start fresh in a different raised bed, but this time I'll probably grow double the amount because, right? Okay, here's another view of my sweet rocket. I grow this in raised beds. Again, these plants are towards the end, so they're not at their best, but you can see it's in a raised bed. And we started the seeds last May. We planted them out when they were ready. It was probably a couple months after that. And they just sat here. They just sat here and looked like little tiny green clumps of leaves for a very long time. But then a few months ago, they started putting up their beautiful flower shoots. And now we've got this sea of amazing frothy lavender blooms. I grow in a pretty easy area to grow flowers. We're zone 8B. So we have pretty mild winters. It does get down every once in a while into the low 20s or the high teens. These had no protection, no cover. They froze, they had freezing rain, they had hail, and they did just fine. So even with no protection, I still got this really, really good stem length out here. And I'm really glad that we decided to net these. You can see that the stems that were not encased in the netting are definitely flopping out to the sides. So I would recommend netting this for sure if you decide to grow it. Our last harvest of this is so beautiful. It's in the shop. I want to show it to you because you can see that this is pretty while I'm standing here, but you really can't get the full effect until you see what it looks like when it's all bunched up and it's together. It's like, I mean, you will die. Let's see if I can do this. Pretty good, right? So this is probably our peak season sweet rocket. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna fall. I mean, can you see? It's like quite a few feet tall. And if only you could smell it. It's so pretty. It smells kind of like stock, but it's a little bit like of a lighter fragrance than stock, I'd say. I'm not quite as spicy, and it's pretty incredible.